Hey folks, it's Mike D57S here, and I know it's been such a very long time, but here we are with a new Bachmann item to review, yeah! I know, yeah, it's been a while, because the last time I reviewed a Bachmann model was, the red branch line coaches. And that was all the way back in February, yeah. February, whatever it's pronounced. Let's just not, waste too much time on that. But here we are with one of the new Bachmann products that was announced last year back in February, but ended up being introduced to us back in February this year. Man, it's such a strange coincidence. And that is none other than the Bachmann Toad. Yeah, I'm so glad, though I still gripe at the fact that Oliver hasn't really been made yet. And yeah, even Bachmann is, focusing more on Toad than Oliver. That's beside the point, though, but we'll talk about that later, though. But yeah, I'm really, glad that I have, the Bachmann Toad in, my possession, because, let's face it, we've all wanted a Bachmann Toad for a very long time, as he was one of those items that were in demand, and doing a rolling stock, because he is a rolling stock, and doing him can be pretty simple, and I was right. I'm so glad, that we finally have, the model of Bachmann, or of Toad, the Brakevan, yeah. So, I'm only, just a bit upset, because, like the fact that he's been made, yet Oliver hasn't. Also because, I guess he could have been made back in, August, but I can't really expect everything. And August last year, because that was also the same year when the Red Branch Line Coaches was released, correct? Because, yeah. Like, I do remember, like, Zara 21 King, like, he, did his own review, I remember, like, which I do believe was the very first, review of the Red Branch Line Coaches back then. So, yeah, like, if they could have released the Red Branch Line Coaches, back in February, back in August last year, why couldn't they do the same for Toad? Well, maybe probably because of the tooling, because there's something else I should point out, too, is that Toad is actually of course, remade from one of their UK products. In this case, the Bachmann Branch Line's very own Toad Brakevan, which I do believe is the 20-ton. Yes, but before we move on, I should also show you the package I got him in. Yeah, I didn't throw it out just yet, but yeah, this is, Toad's packaging that I got him in. And here's the back, because I never really do these products that much, so yeah, here's the items we got. Thomas, Percy, and it's really strange that James is in his prototype picture, which, it's kind of lazy. I don't know why they did that, but yeah. And we got Gordon, and Edward, Henry, Toby. Okay, I can understand why Emily's, but why Spencer's still on there? But yeah, that's the modern main characters now, or Steam Team if you want to call them. But here are the items that we have on the rest of the packaging. Come on, my camera can focus on it, please. Ah, here we go. Okay, sorry if I'm being a bit shaky. Oh, shit. Alright. Okay, so yeah, we have the Thomas with the sounds. I have... Now, of course, you all know that I have Mavis, Diesel, Salt. Well, I have pretty much everyone, but here, look at the bottom. Oliver! Yeah! Even the package says it himself, but yet Oliver hasn't even been made. It's really such a sham. What is taking Bachmann so long to make this? Heck, they did a good job on Duck. Despite the flaws that he has, yet Oliver, I don't really care right now if he has the CGI face. Yeah, sure, Toad looks like he's from the CGI series, and while I love the classic model series, it doesn't matter, because the CGI series has been getting better, right? I don't care if Oliver has, a CGI face. It's totally fine. But what I will gripe about is if they made him look exactly the way he did in, the series now where he's, itty-bitty small. I won't like that. And I also don't... Yeah, because Bachmann, has, done pretty good job, because I've seen, a few of the 14XX models they've done in their Bachmann branch line range they sell in the UK, so hopefully I just hope they keep Oliver in his normal size. Alright, but aside from that, though, I mean, I'm so glad to finally get, Bachmann's model of Toad. I mean, because he is one of the products that we've been waiting for quite a while. Because back then, it was just the Hornby Toad, along with, well, Hornby Oliver. But Bachmann has really, I think, outdone themselves. I mean, I guess some people can complain because, he's based more off of his CGI counterpart, but it's no big deal. I mean, besides, this is the part where I get to, the opinion on the character. Toad, of course, as we know, is one of the really, more likable classic series characters, though I think we've been taking this character for granted as most of us really focused more on Oliver. Yeah, of course. But, yes, I guess we really never got the chance to focus on Toad more. But that's alright, because they made Toad really stand out more as a character. Like, seriously, he's really, one of the most likable characters. He didn't really appear that much in the Railway series, but in the TV series, and even in non-Audrey stories, Toad definitely had more appearances, but he didn't really get that many episodes himself. The only episode he got back then was Busy Going Backwards. Though when the CGI series came, when Oliver and Toad were finally reintroduced, in 2014 with the 18th season of the series, which is, to this very day, is still considered the best season of Modern Thomas, Toad and Oliver, finally made a return. And Toad mostly, because most of us, I guess, would have expected, especially me, would have expected Oliver to get his own episode. But instead, Toad ended up getting his own episode. And he, got partnered up with James, because, let's face it, you've all seen my review of Toad's Adventure. And it will be pretty pointless to, to talk about Toad as a character, only because I will be doing a character profile series. But yeah, there's one thing I will spoil, later. Toad will be the next episode after James. Yeah, I'll just point that out. So, yes, without further ado, let's finally get to the model. Okay, so I really think Bachmann has done a good job. Though I can say it's kind of lazy, if you want to remake him from, one of their old, their UK range, the Bachmann branch line, because they have made Toad Brakevans. But it's alright, because, the model looks so good, you can overlook that. They've really, made... yeah, Toad looks more like his CGI counterpart, but it doesn't matter, because Toad is really... In fact, the CGI series has actually gotten me to like Toad a lot more than I have in the past. Because they really made him a very likable character. Especially since he has the most episodes, more than Oliver, like Toad's Adventure, Toad's Bright Idea, oh yeah, and Toad and the Whale. I really, even though we really would love to see Oliver get his own episode, I do believe, that they did a good job in, making Toad more likable. But we'll talk about that when I do the character profile on him. So, yes, every detail, Toad is supposed to be, like, a 16-ton Brakevan. Yeah, 16-ton Brakevan. Yet, I heard that the model that they did base him off of was the 20-ton Brakevan. Yeah, which is kind of strange. It's, very inaccurate, but I guess, that the Brakevans do look, exactly similar. The Toad Brakevans, that I guess you barely notice that. But that's alright. Right? So yeah, every detail looks very nice on him. Yeah, here is, of course, the wood panels look nice. Like usual, especially if you look at Bachmann Toad or any other, of the models, especially the trucks, because, they're made of wood. They even, managed to get in his rivet areas. Yeah, the rivets, as you can see. And I really, like the detail that they got on the handrails, as they're silver, yeah. Yeah, as the handrails, as we all know, are silver, and, in the actual show itself, I'm talking about the CGI series, Toad's handrails are also silver, but before that, they used to be white. I don't know, I guess I preferred, the white ones, but I think they made them more silver, just to make them more realistic, if you know what I mean, because silver is a more reflective color. So, yeah, I do think they did a good job, with both handrails on each side of Toad, and Like, yeah, and of course, there are no wood panels here. I mean, it's just the rivets that, hold them together. And we have, like, if you could see, I'm pointing it with my thumb, this little notch right here next to, his door, like, where, this is, of course, where the lamp is put. And I used to think, because in the classic series, Toad did have a lamp beside him, which was, I used to remember, it was just a lamp, his tail lamp, and it would be, red, but we never really got that, though. And yeah, I mean, I do like how they got the notch here, and even on this side as, like, this is, of course, where the lamps would be put, and even a notch here, which I also think that lamps... Oh, yes, I should also mention that the back looks nice, too. Let me just balance him right here. Okay, yeah, no, I think I'll close him a little bit more. But, yeah, like, here's the rest of, like, the back of Toad, where, like, just like, the actual Toad Brakevan, because, as I mentioned, he was remade from that. We even have, these back windows, so, the guard can actually see from here, and I think this is a back window, but if that's the case, why isn't it, open like these two windows here? Strange. But yeah, I do like the way that the rivets were placed, and even we got the nice, like, the coupling hook, as you could see, the dummy hook. If the camera could focus. Oh, good, it's focusing on it, yeah. Like, I do, think they did a good job with that. I mean, so yeah. I also love, the nice shade of gray they used, because the original, like, the Hornby Toad, like, when Hornby did their model of Toad, because, Hornby, used to take the lazy route, I mean, like, their model would basically, like, Toad used to be, like, in a dark brown, and I really don't know why they did that, why they couldn't just, repaint him. I mean, they had all the details right, like his logo and such, and his number, and his weight number here, and the face was Classic Series X, but the only flaw was that he was brown, and, not his regular shade of gray that we knew him for. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of strange, Oh, and something else I should point out, too, is that seeing that Toad was announced last year, I mean, here we have 2015, Galen Entertainment, Thomas Limited, yeah. Like, we have, I mean, it says 2015, because obviously that's when he was made, or, I mean, well, when he was announced, and, of course, it even said that on the packaging. Here is his code number, and I do like how they even place the wheels, like... And, of course, we'll get to the more obvious details, that also, give him that CGI look. Not only are the handrails silver and not white like in the classic series, but also because the buffers are silver too. Those can easily be repainted, but, I mean, I guess they're kind of, they look, nice in a way. I mean, not too bad. Okay, and... okay. Let me just look at the coupling hook myself, maybe. Alright, yeah, I do, think that... I like the way that they, shaped, like, the actual, like, hook on, Toad himself. Like, really, like, the actual hook, I mean, though it's not really the same as, the dummy coupling hooks you'd see on, the regular, on the engines and such, and even on, like, say, the mail coaches. I mean, I really, like the way, that they molded the hook. Yeah, and we got more rivet details there, and such. So, yeah, like I said, the silver buffers, you could easily repaint them if you want, but, I mean, I guess they're kind of distracting if you wanted them to look more like the classic series, but it's a non-issue, I guess. And something else I should point out is that since Toad was the first to actually, yeah, because he is the first to be remade from, the regular Bachmann items. That also means he has really, really small coupling hooks. Let's compare him to someone else. Like, here, we'll do a comparison between him and Scruffy. Yeah, because we've all known that this is the regular, like, shape of the actual, like, hook and loop hook and loop couplers that the Bachmann that the Bachmann Thomas items have had, for years. Though Toad was the very first one to actually have smaller ones, and this could easily work if you want to, use them on other, Bachmann UK products. But I mean, it's well, here. How about I just show you this right now? All right, so here we have Toad, and here we have the regular Brakevans, the Thomas Brakevans and such. Now, we'll do a little coupling here between the both of them. I mean, they could couple up just fine, but I guess when you come to a curve, I mean, when you come to a curve, only Toad's, hook could be unlinked, but since this one, on the regular Bachmann products are big, they could, still, link up to Toad. I don't know if you could see it, because, the area is all black and such. But, yeah, like this, Toad's, hooks can easily, come off. And it is kind of difficult to get Toad off of the item, too. You can just twist him off like that. So, yeah. Another thing that Toad can actually do is this. I mean, his hooks, can, even if you had him upside down, his hooks could, come down with him as, usually for the regular items, there would be a spring that would hold them together. But he doesn't have that. And not only are the couplings small, but they can also twist as well, but I think you gotta be careful, and just, yeah, it's not easy if I keep, holding it like this for hours. Alright, so yeah, this can actually twist, and I can understand that, because if Toad was going down, a tight curve, on the back of a train, this could, give him, a special, turning radius and such. Because, I mean, let's face it, these wheels are spread apart. Even though, the regular coaches, like Annie and Clarabelle Henrietta, or the red coaches, you get the point, we're going, along a curb, they'd be just fine. But Toad, on the other hand, because even with the regular Brakevans and such, they do have a problem where they can derail on my layout from time to time, because, I guess, because of that tight bend, and not to mention some of the tracks are, hard, to be put together and such. But despite all that, I mean, I think you gotta be really careful, because I don't know if you could really replace them, because I don't really see a screw here, that could tighten the couplings in, but, yeah, yeah, there is no screw. I mean, but you could easily, these could easily bend if, Toad was turning on a curve. Say if he was hooked up to a train. But yeah, I mean, every other detail, that I've mentioned is just really, really nice. I'll just mention, the bottom right here, the bottom, right here, they got the other details, because, well, you get the point. I mean, he was remade from, the UK, Bachmann's Brakevans and such. And, yeah, here's, the steps here, this area, which is where, the crew, is mostly the guard, can, easily walk along this area, and he could, easily hold onto the handrails. And here we have this extra step, he could stand on, so he could open the door to get into, Toad. So yeah, I do like, how they were able to, mold this, plastic here, next to Toad, so he could easily, so that way, the guard could easily, stand onto him, say if he needs to get inside, or just, check the other sides of Toad, or put the lamp on and such. Yeah, so, I mean, rather than the handrails being, painted silver, I also love, the detail that was put into them. I mean, because it's not, the handrails you could just pick off, no. I mean, if the camera could focus, yeah, I think it's focusing. There's these little notches, where that hold the rail into its place, so I like that. Here is, of course, the roof I'll just get to right now. I mean, it's in, kind of, mild shade of gray. And, I mean, I love the rest of the shade of gray, that Toad's kept in. Though I will point out, though, that Toad is more of a lighter gray, as in the classic series, he was in more of, in a more darker gray. But it's no big deal, because he's still Toad, and I could still recognize him for that livery. Let me just get the camera to focus. Yeah, and I even love how they moded the funnel right here. Yeah, here's his chimney. Because I don't really know that much, and I really haven't, seen, Google Images if you want to, go inside, the inside of a Brakevan and such. Because I think that there is, a furnace, right inside Toad, a fireplace, say if the driver wanted, sorry, no, the guard wanted to keep warm inside the Brakevan and such, because I remember that in the Flying Kipper, inside, when the crew was having cocoa, and, and was having hot chocolate in the Brakevan before Henry crashed. So, yeah, I mean, they really haven't, I gotta, check out, the inside of a Brakevan, because I'm pretty sure that there is a fireplace inside there, say if the guard wanted to keep warm inside. Because doing your job at night, when it's really freezing and such, it would be pretty uncomfortable. Hell, I mean, this would make Toad pretty comfortable, because he's got a fire in too. Yeah, but I could be rambunctious. I could be wrong about that. But yes, the other details, like I said, are really, really nice, and they definitely make Toad stand out. I mean, I guess I could be used to his classic series, phase, but we'll just get to the rest of that soon. Though, we'll get to the rest of the details right about now. I also like, his logos and such. Here we have, his Great Western logo, and, of course, his number, which is 56831. Yeah, 56831, which, of course, is his number. I mean, they still got that detail. And I also gotta say, I love the font, because back in, my community college, I was in a typography class, and typography, taught me, that the font, really should matter, as the font really has to, stand out to make it really more appealing. Because, I mean, you can't just choose a font and, oh, I'll just choose this font because I have to and just put it on. Because, no, I mean, you really need a font, when just taking a logo. But, yeah, that's just giving me that's me just giving you guys a little advice, but I guess you guys wouldn't really care. But if you're going into business, say for graphic design, then you'd have to take a typography class to know that. And yes, here is his weight number, 16 tons, which I really say, like this here, the font is really, very detailed, and I love the way it was printed onto Toad. And, yeah, though the only difference was that the model itself is a 20-ton Brakevan, while Toad is said to be a 16-ton Brakevan. But I guess you wouldn't really care, as I guess you wouldn't really tell the difference. In fact, to tell you the truth, I can't really tell the difference, because all the Brakevans, well, mostly the Toad Brakevans, on the Great Western Railway, they look exactly alike. So, I mean, but if those of you who do know, say, British Railways and such, I mean, please let me know in the comments below. I mean, I really can't tell the difference between many of the different Toad Brakevans that have been manufactured, especially between a 16 and a 20-ton Brakevan. Now, excuse me for a second, I'm getting a bit tired, so I just need some water. Okay, I'm back, so yeah, now I got myself in check. So yeah, we have, his Great Western logo and his number, as this was the number he was made, on the Great Western Railway, and his weight number. Though, here's one of the flaws I do have, and it is, I mean, I know this was the actual, because, rendering of Toad in the CGI series, but it really does bother me, is that we have, his decals on this side, but yet they're not even printed on this side. And Bachmann did this on purpose. It was no mistake. I mean, the reason was because in the actual CGI series, Toad only has them on one side. And I mean, Toad's render is good, because he does look like an actual, Toad Brakevan, but it really distracts me. I mean, I really don't like that detail, because, I mean, I don't know if, the actual Brakevan itself, had its decals only on one side, but honestly, yes, it really does bother me. Like, very much. I really just don't like, the detail right here. It's just so distracting. I mean, like the fact that only, this side has his, like, only this side doesn't have his decals, and it's like Toad's naked on one side. Like, I'm just kidding about that, but you guys know. Yeah, I really don't understand why Arc Productions, when they rendered Toad, I really can't understand why only the decals were only, on one side, but they're not on this side. It makes no sense. Well, to me, I mean, I don't really like it, because it really does bother me. I mean, but, yeah, so that's the only flaw I have with said model itself. I mean, like here we have the rest of the details, like these, metal components that hold Toad together, his wooden pieces. Yeah, and I really, love not only just the step, but even the brake, like the bins that, hold his wheels together, and his brakes, they're not here. But now we'll get to, what's also very cool, is the very inside of, Toad himself. I think that they did, a fantastic job, with doing the details. Let me just hold him up with this rock. With the inner details of Toad, like, seriously, like the wood panel floors, and hell, I even love the door in the back, like, the door looks nice, and we even got the windows. Yeah, so that way the guard needs to get, like, if he could just come out and there's an emergency, he'll turn the brake, handle on. So yeah, I think riding in, a Toad Brakevan itself was, like, would be very comfortable and such. Oh, and I'll even point this out, too, is, yes, we even have the brake handle, because it wouldn't be a brake van, well, without its brake handle, and I really think that the detail for, Toad's brake handle was molded on very nicely. Because look at that thing. And no, you can't really turn it, but you can reach your finger in here and actually touch it. But be extra careful, as, like I said, you can turn the brake handle, but, like, you also gotta be careful with that too, as this thing, I'm pretty sure, can easily break off if you push it too hard. But yeah, the brake handle, I think, was, very nicely detailed, and I do love the silver color scheme that was used for it. So yeah, just in case the guard needs to get out, I mean, he could turn the brake handle when there's an emergency. So yeah, I mean, I really, like the detail, that was done on the brake handle in here, and, and how it was placed, just like that. And in the right area, too, as this is, of course, above his wheels, just so that way the brakes could, tighten the wheels on. And here is his wooden seat. I don't know. I think this is a desk area, or I think this is, a seat area. Yeah, I think this is a seat now that I think about it. This is probably the seat, that way, like, anybody, especially the guard, could, sit, right here. Yeah, he could, easily, take a seat right here, and I don't know what these areas are, but I think these are, just for, like, the air, for, the driver, sorry, the guard, so that way he wouldn't get all distracted, and, well, maybe not distracted, so that way there would be barriers, so he wouldn't go all sliding, I guess, I don't know. So yeah, like, I do think that the brake handle and the rest of the detail inside a Toad looked very nice. And I also believe that, we even got, the frames themselves look nice. I mean, I love the way that they molded, the frames and such. I mean, the way and how all of them are connected to Toad. Especially, right over here, like, this area above his face. Of course, and now we'll get to the last detail before we wrap this review up. The face. I really, really love, how they molded his face. Like, yeah, I definitely see it has a CGI kind of face, but at the same time, I don't think it's too bothersome. In fact, sometimes it kind of looks like the classic series face in some places, though not completely, because Toad's classic series face, his smile was a bit more bulgy and, more like a U or like V shape, when he's smiling. But it's nice, I mean. Because let's face it, Diesel, still brings some, classic series, nostalgia. I mean, even if he has a CGI series face, I mean, he still has some classic series nostalgia. Not only, well, I mean, mostly because he has, well, the silver side rods rather than black. It doesn't bother me that much. Well, the fact that he has a CGI face. But yeah, I think, yeah, even in some distances, like, if you could see right here, Toad definitely, has more of, say, a CGI, or I say a Model Series S kind of face, even though that area, like I said, is distracting. But yeah, they captured every detail on him, like his eyes, his eyebrows, his cheeks, his nose. So yeah, I don't think it's too bothersome. If you want to place him like this, or something, or like this, then we definitely have, a classic series kind of view for the character. So yeah, overall, even despite the fact that he's remade from, one of Bachmann's, UK products, I love the model, because, I mean, I love, what they did for him. I mean, the model, the detail itself is very, very good. Now, but before we end this review, where I rate Toad, I think I'm going to just take him on a little ride. And I think, just for fun, really. Okay, here we are. I did have a train set up for him, and I decided what better engine to pull the train is, no, not Duck, but Douglas. I mean, why not? Because, remember, in the Railway Series books, of course, Douglas, ended up being Toad's Brakevan. But when the TV series came along, I mean, Oliver ended up, being, Toad's Brakevan, because, Toad was with Oliver, and I don't, got anything against that. I mean, because if I had my own fan-made series, he'd be both of ours. But yes, I mean, Douglas, of course, was Toad's, Toad was Douglas's Brakevan in the Railway series, but aside from that, I mean, heck, not only that, but I would like to have him, at the end of not only Duck at times, I mean, because I can, but hell, I'd even love, to have him at the end of, James, because, well, just, to follow, Toad's adventure, because it was a very good episode. Oh, but before we also move on, look what I also got. Yeah, when I got Terrence at the same time, I also managed to get the third Troublesome Truck. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do a review. Actually, I will do a review on it, but very soon. I mean, I just got to keep, taking a look at the model more. But there's really not that much, to talk about, say if I'm ever going to review it sometime. But it still looks pretty nice. So, yeah. I mean, I do have the third Troublesome Truck, but we'll get to that another time. But that's pretty cool, because my collection's expanding. So yeah, I have a train of vans, and I decided why not use that for Toad. Okay, yeah, just gotta get Douglas to move. Okay, I think I coupled Toad on, so yeah, here we go. Yeah. It definitely brings back some, nostalgia, with Toad being at the end of a train. Ah, crap. Yeah, that's one, flaw itself. I mean, the couplings can be pretty flawed sometimes. Hold on a second. Yeah, the couplings can be pretty flawed, so, yeah. I mean, I guess they're kind of nice. I mean, stand out, but I don't know. I mean, I guess, that they could have, But yeah, here's the rest of the model. So yeah, here's Douglas with Toad. I hope he doesn't uncouple this time. Let's do this thing here. Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, you gotta, set his couplings straight so that way he doesn't uncouple from a train. So yeah, here goes Douglas, and Alright, I think I'll give him one more run around my layout. And heck, I could even put him at the end of a train pulled by Donald, too, yeah. So, yeah. That sets Toad out. And before that, I almost forgot to do this, too. Here's, how he is compared, with the regular Brakevans. Yeah, pretty long. And I do like, how he's longer than most of the rolling stock and such. Like you could see between him and Scruffy in the trucks, and him in the Brakevan. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm going to wrap this review up. So, before we end this, I will be giving Toad... Yes, the Bachmann Toad will be getting a rating of 9.5... No, I mean, like, the couplings could be pretty flawed, too. So, yeah, like, 9.5 out of... Or probably a 9, maybe. Yeah, maybe a 9 out of 10 would be fair enough, because, like, the only, flaws I guess I would have are the couplings, if you want to couple them, to the end of a train. I guess I'd kind of take back what I said, because, I mean, like, they could still couple up, but you gotta get them in a certain position and be careful that they don't. I mean, it can be pretty hard. I mean, not to mention, these couplings, I think, are made of metal, too, right? Yeah. While the rest, in the range were plastic. And the other flaw I have, of course, as I mentioned, the markings I wish could have been there, because, yeah, that really does bother me. Though I don't think there's anything I could do about him, to get him, to be there. Oh well, I mean, so yeah, I really think that Bachmann Toad looks amazing. So, yes, I'll give him a 9 out of 10. I mean, the couplings and the, the markings not being on this side are really the flaws for me. But I still recommend him, I mean, because he's definitely a necessity to your range, because if you want more Brakevans, I mean, if Oliver comes out soon, I'll definitely, have him, alongside Toad. So, yeah, I really hope Oliver does come out, because, really, hurry up, Bachmann, please. Alright, so, yes, this is Mike D57S signing off, and I'll be back with a character profile, and since I got Toad, yeah, spoiler alert, he'll be the next episode. So, yeah, that's one thing I'll just say there. So, take care of yourselves, guys. Yes, take care of yourselves, guys. I'll see you then. Bye.